Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
How's it going? We're back. We're live on Rumble. Hopefully the audio and the video is coming through fine. We're kind of limiting where we go live because of all the problems with internet providers lately. Just seems like the more you're putting yourself out there, the less easier it's getting. But
for sure.
We just did our little live intro on Facebook for episode 66. What did it say it was? March 11th?
Yeah, it is.
And there's a lot of big headlines in the news today.
For sure.
We were in the middle of a discussion. What, did you want to take up on that, Leo?
What was it? The police officer or the deputy that got arrested here in Indiana County?
I think that's what you were. You want to touch on that story and then give us your thoughts
on that? Did you hear about that, Vince?
A little bit.
All right. Well, that's actually on the top here. I didn't put these. Well,
I just know just a little bit.
Do you want to?
I just know a little bit of it.
I've got the story right.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Newly sworn-in deputy has lost his job and is behind bars on child porn charges. 19-year-old, his last name was Cromer, was arrested last night. This is like 2 days ago, just a day after Indian River County Sheriff Eric Flowers swore him in. He says Cromer had been getting nude photos of underage girls through Snapchat. He was sworn in just after lunchtime and before the end of his first work day. Before the end of that day, as a sworn-in deputy, we were taking his cell phone from him for a search warrant. Flowers say detectives found 100 gigabytes of data. The search was conducted after Cromer showed up at a Vero Beach High School where one of his alleged victims attends. She went to authorities asking her... Oh, okay, so she went to the authorities. He was asking her to send photographs, asking her to send naked pictures, topless pictures, and that she felt very uncomfortable just seeing him on campus. She claims the suspect would say things like, "I'm going to be in law enforcement, I'm very powerful," in order to get her to send the photos. The sheriff says investigators know of at least 4 victims, and they want to hear from anyone who may recognize the dude from Snapchat. He used his full name as a handle, so it was like he obviously wasn't all there, but that leads to other questions. If you have any tips, dial ** TIPS, or there's a long phone number. You can find it on Facebook and stuff like that. He was arrested and terminated while in jail the same day. He's held on a $15,000 bond. I'm sure that bond's already been paid. His father's supposedly a doctor of some notability in the area. So what's your thoughts on that, Leo? The kid was 19.
Too young?
Too young for sure.
But then there again, we do
power for a 19-year-old.
But then there again, my thing is one person ruins it for everybody. Not all 19-year-olds and not all 18-year-olds act this way.
Yeah, but that's what psych evaluations are for, is determining the maturity and the sanity of the person you're giving authority to.
You're right. But we have AI.
Well, there's people.
What's that going to do for
there's
you?
people that are sick.
You can fake it.
You can monopoly.
There's people that'll pass those tests though that are fucked in the head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People like this, they're messed up from the head, from the get-go. But then there again, you're gonna tell me they got this case all wrapped up within the end of the day of his shift. So you're gonna tell me there wasn't already a tip, and you're not gonna tell me they already knew about this? But the plan was to swear him in. As soon as he's sworn in, boom, we got a case on him. How quick did they move? Or did they know about it? Or they just found out within that day as soon as he was sworn in?
I think it's a coincidence because they don't have anything to gain. They look dumb for making him a police officer and then having to fire him the same day.
And I saw the footage.
It makes him look bad.
The sheriff actually showed his mugshot in his press conference, and he said they don't usually share mugshots of deputies, but in this case, he was more than willing. Of course, it is election season.
Right.
And, he's under a lot of fire for morality issues, I believe.
Right.
At least it's fair to say. So what do you think about that, though? Do you think... what's an appropriate age, or is there exceptions?
The first thought I had too was we're talking about a 17-year-old girl. I think she was like 17 or something.
16 is 16. What I heard.
and he's 19.
There was 4 different girls, though.
At first, when they said that he had pictures of her, I'm thinking, okay, for a 19-year-old to have a 16-year-old, I mean, that's not like crazy. I mean, that's less of an age difference than most of our parents have.
Yeah, I know, but
then he's using his authority to force them to send them. Now that's when to me it went, all right, this guy's fucked. He's fucked in the head because he's using his authority to make the girls feel like they have to do it. So that was the problem I had. It wasn't necessarily the age gap. It wasn't like it was a 30-year-old police officer with high school girls. But, it's using his authority to manipulate them, to harass them and stuff like that. I mean, obviously he's got whatever's coming to him and probably more.
Yeah, so his dad was supposedly some doctor or head of a mental health association, I believe. I don't know if that's a local thing. I've never heard of it. I'm not really into it. But we do have some resources.
Well, right here it says, I'm reading right here.
Oh, yeah, good. Because I didn't take the whole story. That was from some local.
Yeah, it says right here, it says that Flowers had sworn him in on Monday morning, right? Along with other deputies.
Yeah.
After he was hired on the 8th.
Yeah, because
January 8th.
They go through a training
from the academy. At the beginning of the day, Monday, one of the deputies by the name of Kai walked into campus of one of our high schools here in town, Flower said, and a brave young woman alerted our staff, meaning this is out of sheriff.
Something's fishy here, though.
Alerted our staff, meaning Flowers, right? So right there, hold up. Right now.
Does it say they alerted?
No.
Sheriff Flowers?
I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there because this is what's going in my mind right now. I'm going to send you to this school right now, okay? And what a coincidence this lady or this young brave female, which is it's good, she did the right thing, alerted the deputies. So to me there was already a case on this guy because we send this guy right to where we need to send him to just to trap him.
Well, there's only one high school.
Did we though?
They did. I didn't.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're getting a thumbs up from somebody.
I didn't think he was sent there. I thought he went there on his own. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was on duty.
Yes, it says at the beginning of the day, Monday, one of the deputies by the name of Kai walked into campus, which is probably him, right? What's the guy's name?
That's him.
Kai Cromer.
Kai Cromer walked into the campus of one of our high schools here in town. Flowers said, and a brave young woman alerted our staff.
He went there on his own.
This deputy had been contacting her via Snapchat, asking her to send photographs, pictures, topless pictures, and that she felt very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think he was sent there, Leo.
He was on call. He was there with another deputy.
He was on call, but I don't think they were sent there.
You don't think he was sent there?
No, I don't think so. I don't see conspiracy there. I think the conspiracy is swearing in a local 19-year-old. A local 19-year-old. I get it. Somebody just moved from Michigan, did the academy, they passed your academy. Cool. But a local 19-year-old in their own little community like this, I don't think that's the right scenario to put somebody.
They should have at least said, okay, you can be a cop. You got to go to Sebastian.
I mean, it's great that you have local people want to get
involved.
Where
you got to go to Fort Pierce. I'm just saying.
You're right. No,
don't put him in the town that he lives in and grew up in. I do agree with that.
Right. I don't know. I'm just going by what it was saying, and I was just putting, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm reading more to what's going on, and it seems like it was just like hot at the spot. It was just like. As soon it was like unfolding quick, like stuff was just like.
There's not enough of the detail,
boom,
but
boom.
I wonder.
Right here, look.
I'm wondering though, Leo, if he didn't go there on his own because he was getting ready to prey on some of them, use his authority.
No, he was training with another deputy. He was on the first time on patrol with a deputy. He was on call in that area of the high school. I don't know what the reason. That's interesting though. What was the reason they were there, and who did the little?
I want to know who the other deputy was.
Inform.
I don't know. But look, right here it says it took over 100 gigabytes of data. That's crazy, man. No, I mean that's good. They took somebody.
he's a kid.
Somebody that, but he's not.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, just because that age crosses over doesn't mean
right. He is, but he's not. He has a
capable of
mentality of a kid, but his age is up there. You know, there again, we were given this guy. Just think about this, people. Just think about this. We were given this guy a 19-year-old kid. We were giving him a gun. All right. So now he has a gun on him. Right,
I feel old. I'm sitting here thinking I got.
But I'm just saying. But I know, Vince. But think about it. Now this guy has a gun on him, right? And he just pointed at a girl and said, "Hey, listen, I need you to do this and this and this and this." Don't you think that girl's gonna do what that guy's telling her to do? Yeah. Of course he is.
I mean, that's not what he did, though.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying it could get to that point because it says. It says right here.
Eventually, who knows?
It says right here where they were going through his phone.
Law enforcement.
Absolutely. It says right here they were going through his phone. It says he was telling people, I'm going to be law enforcement. I'm very powerful. Yeah. There you go, man. Boom. That badge. That's what I've been trying to say. That badge makes all these law enforcement think that they're, come on, man. Let's round them up, man. This is what we need to tighten the fucking belt on. I
couldn't do it. I couldn't be.
This is what we need to tighten the belt on,
Well, listen to the mentality of him. He wanted to be a powerful deputy in his own community, right? Fresh out of high school. So I don't think that's suitable right off the bat.
And here's the problem. You know, here we are saying, you know, they shouldn't be 19-year-olds. They shouldn't be in their own community at least and stuff like that, which I do agree with. But which one of y'all want to be a cop right now?
Nope, not I.
No way in hell.
They're having such a hard time finding people that want to be cops. I don't know what are they making, 30-something thousand a year?
No, here they can
put their lives on the line.
Here it's up to I just read
I'm talking about starting though.
Yeah, here starting with, if you have 6 years experience, you can get a $6,000 sign-on bonus, I believe, and start at $56,000. Otherwise it's like $52,000.
Yeah. That's better than what it used to be, but still
something.
Still, for $50,000, you put your life on the line.
There's better paying counties in the state,
and all the other bullshit that's going on right now with racism and all that kind of stuff. It's just it's a job where, man, you make one mistake. Okay. Next thing you know, you're on TV as this asshole.
Way better paying counties. I did the research. There's like 5 other counties that pay way better than Indian River County for deputies, and that's surprising knowing what we know about the money this county has. Now, if the county commissioners the county commissioners didn't give so much money to NGOs and put it back into the actual community that they can control the budget on, like sheriff's department, that's what they should do. You know, maybe we'd have more experienced deputies on the road and less cameras watching us.
Oh yeah, for sure,
definitely.
Yeah, for
what were you going to say, Leo?
I have a little question, or not a question, or just
and then we'll move on.
Like a little shot. No. This is how we're going to move on.
Cool.
This is how we're going to move on. It was just nice because I was just reading right here. This is straight up from the news. I was just reading what has happened with this deputy and what our local sheriff is saying. Which Eric Flowers is WPTV.
Okay.
Channel News 25.
Yeah, mine was from Florida News.
So I was just reading, what it was saying. It's saying, that our Sheriff Flowers, our Indian River County Sheriff Flowers said right here that normally they don't put up pictures of deputies, but this one he was going to put it up, right? But here Sheriff Eric Flowers associates with criminals. He gives criminals a second chance. So why can't he put up a picture of his sheriffs if they're giving a second chance? Do you see what I'm saying though, Mike?
Yeah.
Don't say, he's not going to put a picture of his sheriffs on there, but
any deputies
arrested, but yet he associates with giving criminals and attends to all his
not
functions and stuff
they
like
actually
that.
Campaign for him.
Yes, he sets him up a booth. He sets up a booth for this guy.
Yes.
I
mean, with all due credit, I'm not knocking the sheriff for that.
I wouldn't
want people like that working my booth at a county fair.
I'm just saying.
But you know what? I
mean, I'm just speaking for the people.
It does. You're right.
I'm just speaking for the people that are behind, not behind, but like don't want to speak up because they're afraid. You know, that's who I'm speaking up for, because people see it, man.
Well, they
but
also
they're afraid
see
of
that
saying something.
There's reason to be afraid, you know.
But
sucks.
that's what I'm saying. You can see it, that it's right here, that it's saying a badge could do a lot because I'm a deputy. Okay, how many other deputies are doing the same things that we don't know about it? You know, but we're worried to put up cameras up at every intersection. We're worried about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's going to tighten that belt, tighten it up. You know, like, hey, let's do some other research in between our things.
Let's go for quality. He's filled the positions, which he was supposed to do, but
he did. I mean, I'm not saying it is what it is. You know, we're all humans. We all make mistakes. But if he's going to post one sheriff, he needs to post all of them.
Here, I want to move on, and this is very important, I think, for a lot of people right now. If you don't know, no, you're good. I know. I could go on about it. So let me play this clip. Did you watch the State of the Union the other night? I hope not.
I didn't watch it. No, I've ended up seeing some of the bits and pieces.
So I didn't have to work the next day, so I stayed up late that night and I streamed it, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I was doing other things on the computer, and it was playing in the background. It about put me to sleep, but it was funny because about 30 to 40 minutes in, you can tell the Flocka was starting to kick in and the Adderall was wearing off.
He's running for Congress, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's running from, but this is his dumbass screwing up this woman's name.
Hold on. Hey, just to finish off real quick, I'm glad they're getting these pedophiles off the street, though.
Well, we need to get one out of the White House.
I know, but that's what I'm just saying. You know, I'm glad
that doesn't get us banned.
You know, I'm glad the Indian River County did get this kid and get him out and get him where he needs to be at. Plain and simple.
All right, let's watch this video. Hold on.
Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
So this woman, Laken Riley, she was a 22-year-old nursing student in Augusta University, which is college. She was abducted and killed while jogging by an illegal 26-year-old Venezuelan who crossed the border illegally, was caught and released on September 22nd, arrested multiple times, had an actual bench warrant out for him for not appearing for some court hearing last year. But they knew where he lived. They just, you know, it was inner city, or Augusta, Georgia, I guess. They just didn't really care. So that was her name, and he couldn't even say it right. Her name is Lincoln Riley, and the only reason why he said it is because Marjorie Taylor Greene was there, gave him the pin, which I'm surprised he took it. And you heard what he said? I want to play this one more time. Listen.
Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
You heard him say illegals, right?
Yeah.
You heard him, and this is not common terminology for the left at all.
No,
they don't want to call
undocumented.
Right. Okay, so here's the day after.
Or undocumented
immigrants. Here's the day after.
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. I should have, it's undocumented. And look, they built the country.
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. I should have,
so the next day he's fucking apologizing for calling them what they are. I mean, they're not just illegal, they're criminal immigrants. They crossed the country, they crossed the border illegally, committed multiple crimes. He had warrants for other shit like misdemeanors and shoplifting. And the thing is, if policy would have been in place that Trump had still, he would have been deported the last time. He wouldn't have still been here.
Probably
And,
wouldn't have got here either.
And he wouldn't have killed this 22-year-old girl who didn't even have a chance to live, to start life, She was going to school to save lives. So it's pretty, I don't think I didn't load her picture here, but I can post it later with a little caption. But yeah, it's pretty freaking sad.
Why is he apologizing so quickly? Could it be that
Oh,
they're planning
Nancy
on
Pelosi.
They're planning on them voting this election.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. That's why she had said on the View or something. Oh, I wish he wouldn't have said that term, but we call them undocumented. But I got a couple other stories. We can move on right from that. Other than that, he's talked about putting a floating port in Gaza over there in Israel, near Israel, which is literally putting us in the war.
Did he say Gaza or did he say Russia?
Gaza. Well, one clip he fucked up and said Ukraine. They don't mention that, which was like puts us right in World War III. But this is probably just as bad, putting a floating port that'll help fast-track aid. But it's going to put a bunch of people in there. But this one's important. We're going to talk about that one. Today there was the law that was clarified. They can talk that there could be no instruction in Florida schooling about LGBT or gender neutrality or whatever, hetero or homosexual stuff. However, it doesn't prevent a teacher from talking about their personal life. There's been some clarity and some misconception on that law. Don't think there should be any talk about sexuality. I don't care about your personality or individualism in school. Anyways, that's more reason to get the kids out of school.
Can't talk about religion in school.
9 dead, 78 injured. There's actually 8 children, I think, like young children, like 9, 10 years old. Can you guess where? 9 dead, 78 hospitalized after eating sea turtle.
Somewhere in South Africa? Or
Zanzibar, Pemba.
Where's that
Zanzibar's Pemba Island in Zanzibar.
Where's that at?
I don't know. This is what it says. A semi-autonomous region of the East African nation of Tanzania. Sea turtle meat has proven to be sometimes deadly delicacy. Officials have warned against consuming it. 8 children and an adult died, and 78 other people were hospitalized after eating sea turtle meat on Pemba Island and the Zanzibar archipelago. I don't know how to say the fucking word. Sea turtle meat is considered a delicacy by Zanzibar's people, even though it periodically results in deaths from some oxynism type shit, a type of food poisoning. The adult who died late Friday was the mother of one of the children who succumbed earlier, said the district medical officer. He said the turtle meat was consumed on Tuesday. Bakari told the Associated Press that the laboratory tests had confirmed all the victims had eaten sea turtle meat. Authorities in Zanzibar, which is a semi-autonomous region in East Africa, African nation, and Tanzania, sent a disaster management team led by some dude with 3 names who urged people to avoid consuming sea turtles. Well, duh. In November 2021, 7 people, including a 3-year-old, died on Pemba after eating turtle meat, while 3 others were hospitalized. So just 3 years ago, 3 other kids died.
Wow.
So, I mean, obviously,
something's
word would get around because it doesn't sound like... I wonder, what is the population of Zanzibar?
I don't know, but remind me not to have sea turtle.
Well, I mean...
I don't
Not
know
that I probably would have anyways.
Like, who would want to eat a turtle? I've heard of people eating, like, turtle soup.
Yeah. I've heard of turtle soup, but...
Would you try it, Vince? If
sea turtle? After hearing about that?
Fuck no, I ain't
if it's on the menu, if it's on the menu, you eating it, Vince?
What?
Sea turtle.
What?
Sea turtle. If that's on the menu, would you eat it?
No.
No?
Maybe before I heard about that, I might have tried it. But
Somebody
not now.
tried something the other day. Elephant eggs or something like that. Some kind of
eggs. Elephants don't have eggs. What the fuck?
You mean like ostrich eggs?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was
those are big ass eggs.
All right, so what do we got here? Pemba Island is part of Tanzania's Zanzibar, off the coast of East Africa. It's known for its lush green hills and clove plantations. The Pemba Channel, with its coral reefs and abundant marine life, separates the island from the mainland Tanzania. The main town, Chake, has ruined has a ruined 18th century fort with a museum offshore. Masali Island is home to the Fisher's Taraco, a colorful rare bird. Yeah, but what's the population? I want to know population. They're not telling me for a reason. Where's the Wikipedia?
Well, it's less now
Here's
thanks
the
to the sea
Wikipedia.
turtles.
Not that I
Right.
believe Wikipedia, but
Now there's gonna be tons of sea turtles out there.
it's
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten before, Vince?
Well, there's quite a few people there.
Have you tried rattlesnake before?
No, I've never had snake.
I've tried rattlesnake, like beef jerky rattlesnake. Like
you want
dried
to
up
take a guess
rattlesnake.
on what the population is?
What is it? Where?
Zanzibar.
I'm gonna say maybe like 35,000.
No, 406. Sorry, Vince, I didn't give you a chance.
406. What?
406,000.
406.
Oh yeah, I should. That's important, right?
Well, yeah.
I left that part out.
406 what? I'm like 406.
406,000. Yeah.
400.
406. So I mean, they lost 10 people. So it's 406,808 last week. It's
Wow.
406,800 now. That's too bad.
I wonder if they all like
799.
ate it from the same turtle.
It sounds like it.
Or, like,
it's probably
to
some
the
type
same
of ritual
restaurant or
some
something.
shit.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
wondering
know,
if it
Or
was
the
the same
same market
restaurant.
or something.
How many of the
That's-
people were like family members?
You know,
Like,
'cause
they all eat the same thing at a restaurant. You know?
The other day we were having a wedding, right? And they were talking about like how when like a fresh animal is killed, you know, you don't have to keep it refrigerated right away because it's fresh. The meat is fresh, you know, but you do have to like it's different. I don't know. Like once it's refrigerated, like you have to keep it refrigerated. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's fresh, like you can just leave it out because of, like the outside kind of like it gives it like a crust. You know, and it's just fresh, that it doesn't have to be refrigerated right away. You know, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time you got, but I'm sure it's not.
I think if you take care of it, you
Yeah.
got some time.
You've
Yeah, that's
got-
what I'm saying.
I think
If
you've
you
got
have
a day, or you.
I don't know, man.
Maybe
Get
a
this
day.
shit on ice.
I don't know about
But-
a whole day, but like
but
if
you
it's
wanna get
fresh,
it-
you don't
yeah,
have.
And
It
once
doesn't
you
have to
bleed
be.
it out or something. You gotta
Yeah.
fucking. I don't know. I mean, we know some hunters. We should ask if they're
I'm gonna ask.
following.
tomorrow.
Shoot us a text.
Of course, it also depends what kind of weather you're hunting into. If
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
up north in like Michigan and it's winter, you got more time than you would here in Florida.
It's pretty important. I think you got to learn some of that shit because you don't know what's coming. I think the last story I've got here that I had planned or pulled up was the National Guard in the subways of New York City. Have you guys heard any stories coming out about the subways?
No, what's
People getting shoved in front of trains.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit, man.
I
It's
heard
like
that. Didn't I
one
tell you about
woman.
that? Yeah.
One woman just yesterday or this morning I heard had 2 feet amputated because her boyfriend pushed her in front of a freaking moving train. Other tourists were just like shoved. Like somebody, you know, like when you've
I
been
wonder
to New
what's
York,
making
they
them
tell
do this.
you,
Oh yeah, for
keep
sure.
your back to a wall.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
Always, and never
Always.
look a homeless person in the eye. And
Nope.
these people just get fucking shoved in front of a train for no fucking reason, you know, and
Wow.
it's savage, it's horrible. So they're putting
It's a
National
train.
Guard down there. But do you think that's the right call, or do you think the police should be stepping it up? Do you
The
think
police should be stepping it up,
Yeah.
man. But then there again, man, it's New York City, man. There's crime all day, every day there, man. Like it's just not enough policemen to
They
be
can't-
out there.
They
You know,
can't
there
control
again.
the crime on the streets, let alone the subways.
Yeah, so that's a whole different city down there. Literally
mean,
a
yeah.
whole different
Well,
city.
here's the
Literally
story,
for
so-
a while, no laws were being
I've been.
enforced.
I've been to New York City. I've traveled.
basically living in anarchy there.
So-
for
How-
I've traveled.
how
I've traveled in the subways before. It's some scary shit, man.
how often have you seen National Guard deployed here at home?
no.
No,
You
no.
might have seen a truck here and there during a major hurricane. After,
I was gonna say-
if you were around in 2004, maybe.
I was gonna say during a hurricane, if you see FEMA, a lot of times you'll see the National Guard.
Yeah, for support. But okay, so here's the story. A New York governor deployed hundreds of National Guard troops to assist with bag checks across the New York City subways in wake of a bunch of tragic attacks. Governor, I can't even say her name, on Wednesday announced, this is last Wednesday, she was deploying a force of 1,000 law enforcement officers, including 750 National Guard members. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And 250 state police and Metropolitan Transportation Authority officers. As part of a 5-point plan to improve subway safety, The personnel started being seen in subway stations this week. The decision came after a series of high-profile crimes across the transit system, including an incident this week in which a teenage girl was beaten after a dispute and another in which a 64-year-old man was kicked onto the subway tracks. There's been a 13.1% increase in transit crimes as of March 3rd compared to the same period last year, according to the New York Police Department. But the presence of National Guard troops at subway stations drew criticism from a broad range of voices. The city's public advocate, I don't know, these are some people I don't really give a damn about, but it is,
you know what? If you've got that kind of problem, though, Mike, what else is the National Guard doing?
Well, first of all, they don't need to be deployed on their own citizens. Second of all, stop restraining your police departments and your state police from doing their job.
That's the problem.
And stop promoting DAs and campaigning for these DAs who don't prosecute crime and judges who don't keep criminals locked the fuck up. Back when Giuliani was mayor, they were tough on crime. There was different policies in place that were a little harsh, but crime was down. Now you got people shoving people in front of the freaking railroads. If it was me, I don't know how I would handle it as a law enforcement officer trying to, stomach some shit like that.
Yeah, look at this. It says that
who would want to be a cop now?
It says, look,
in New York, you got to be crazy to be a cop.
Look, it says Saturday morning, the police said officers reported to the 911 call just right before 10:30 a.m. found the woman on the tracks, conscious and responsive. But yeah,
her fucking feet just got ran
over. Her boyfriend was charged. Her boyfriend, 35-year-old Christian, was charged with attempted murder and felony assault for pushing a 29-year-old.
Now, tell me, do you think there should be something different than just attempted murder? I think it's pretty closer to murder because she's not going to have the life she would have had the day before,
right?
If she didn't go down that subway with him,
Let me tell you, I've been to that subway, and it's dangerous.
He murdered the woman she was before that
yeah.
happened. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
and that thing goes so fast, too.
The point here is the National Guard being deployed in a city, and there's not a national tragedy, like usually national emergency is declared, like after hurricane, tornado, weather, whatever, riots. None of that's been declared. That gets additional funding for law enforcement. Problem is, like I said, the core problem is soft on crime. They're letting criminals go. And there's nothing to get these guys to not do stupid shit like that. But
you're definitely
National Guard. You put these uniforms in these areas, and right now you're like, well, I get it. Okay, if they've got a problem, what else is the National Guard doing? But then what you're doing is you're desensitizing the people who frequent that and around the world to seeing these uniforms in the country. That's not meant for in the country. So, and then what's next? At the airports, we have National Guard. Right. What else? Agricultural checkpoints across state lines. They're going to be everywhere. And before you know it, they're going to federalize your sheriff departments. We just saw big conspiracy stories about the training all the sheriffs did. A lot of sheriffs did with the FBI director, Wray, which, we really don't want the FBI controlling our sheriff's departments. They're the last defense we have because we put them there. We elect the sheriff. It's not like
election.
It's not like a hired police chief. Which is another story we can get into. But
no, I definitely agree with what you said. And like you said, the biggest problem is they just got to stop restricting the police. They need to put more funding. Stop defunding the police when you've got the whole state of New York is just.
It's a shit.
It's anarchy. There's no enforced laws. Certain people can get away with basically murder. There's people that they just get away with murder, literally. That's the real problem in New York. Like you said, they need to stop defunding the police. They need to get better police. They need to start doing their job.
Yeah. So, not to change tragic stories, but this was an update to the one we talked about down the road. The Indian River County Sheriff's Office said a tragic incident unfolded when two men were found fatally shot Monday afternoon near Vero Lake Estates. Sergeant Jaworski, a spokesman for the department, said both victims were males. In response to reports of gunfire, deputies were dispatched to the area around 3 p.m. The victims were found on the 7700 block of 105th Court east of Interstate 95. The investigation into this double homicide is ongoing, with law enforcement officials interviewing witnesses and searching for any evidence that could clarify the events that took place. The sheriff's office is committed to informing the public as the investigation unfolds. Currently, no further details are available about the victims or suspects. So they're still not really releasing anything.
So my thing is the public safe?
There's a murder on the loose. That's
Is the public safe?
That's what they're not saying.
Exactly. Is the public safe? That's what the public wants to know. Let the public know what they want to know. Is the public safe?
Was this
no, they're not.
Was
They're
this
not safe.
Was
There's
this an
somebody out there
isolated
right now.
incident? Was there something like they're not even telling you that?
They're not even giving you any.
They're not saying
sense of
it was
security.
it was a drug deal went bad or somebody stole somebody's car.
This is when our sheriff needs to
we
shine,
don't know- we
bro.
don't know what it
This is
was.
where you need to shine. What's up, man? This is
Well,
where you
it's
need to
election
shine.
season too. You think?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He needs
yeah.
to. This is where he needs to shine, man. This is. Tell him. Tell him, sheriff. Tell him this is your county, bro. Shine. This is where you coming in and shine, bro. Do your job. Shit.
Yeah, I think. Well,
Fuck.
I mean, right now he's in an election against another deputy of his that
What are you
there's
gonna
been
do
some
about
inner
it,
drama
bro?
about, and then there's a local police chief who I think should be considered a high contender for the
You know?
position. But I think that between the three of these sheriff candidates, one of them's incumbent sheriff. I think it's. I mean, they all have their ups and downs, right? You know, you look into anybody
you're
that's
right.
in the law enforcement or gives any type of opinion or works with anybody, you can draw your own conclusion, and that's fair,
yeah.
you know, especially when you associate yourself with activists, criminals, you know, and stuff like that, and TV crews. You know, it depends on
Yeah.
all that, but forgot where I was going with that, but there's a couple of candidates. There's one wacko. I don't know if anybody's even paying her any attention. She's not a conservative, though. I think it's very important you talk to these guys when they're running for office. Anybody can. You can walk right up to them at the county fair. You can call their campaign line. They'll talk to you. They want to talk to everybody they can. Not just our county, but any county. These guys want to talk to the people. And if they don't, then obviously, I mean, they're not running for your vote. You know, they're not campaigning for your vote. So don't be stupid. Don't vote for them. Like I saw plenty of people at our local county fair running for office, but there was a few, and except one of them, there was no incumbents.
Right.
You know, they all think they got this in the bag pretty much, you know. So I don't know. I think it's important to pay attention, especially when it comes to your sheriff, because they are constitutionally elected by their people.
Right.
So they work for their people. They don't work for the county commissioner. They don't work for the city council.
Listen, you hear
They
that?
don't work for the FBI.
You hear that? That sounds like a helicopter out there right
Well,
now.
they might be on their way. I
You know.
put the invite out there.
It don't matter, but I'm just saying it sounds
Yeah.
like a helicopter. You know, hey, they're
So
looking for somebody.
The big thing we do on X is vet these candidates, especially the ones going for sheriff, and they're more than willing to talk to us. And I talked to two of them last night, and
Right.
I think they were well, one of them seems pretty eager to get on Twitter with us or X. That's where we do it. Follow us on X. You can follow Joanne Binford at jbin_chronicles, or you can follow my page, the podcast page, at To The Point Podcast. No, tothepoint.com. tothepoint.com. Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. It's out there, man. Just click on the X on our freaking profiles. But
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I
guys.
also stream it on Rumble and Facebook and shit like that. Go ahead, Leo. What you got?
No, I'm just saying Indian
Yeah,
River
go.
County. No, Indian River County.
What about
We
it?
just need to tighten up. Like it just.
Yeah.
we
Well,
could be
every
a better-
county, I think.
Every county, but like I live here, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, Indian River County in Florida, you know, we just need a.
The sheriffs are super important. Man,
Very
'cause
important. I'm
they-
not against them. You know, I'm just saying
Yeah,
they just need to, you know, like
well, that's just
tighten
it.
that belt. You know, they have a belt around it. Tighten
Yeah.
it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Man. Like
I agree. Yeah.
you know,
Because we
like,
give these
it's there for
people
a reason, man.
a lot of, like this. The sheriff. Let's say a judge says, you know, let's say a city council says you're not allowed to have any guns inside just zip
Yeah.
code. You know, Who's going to enforce that?
Right.
A sheriff who swears an oath to the Constitution is going to say, I'm sorry, Judge, that's unconstitutional. I will not enforce that law.
There was a sheriff not that long
yeah.
ago in a local town, I can't remember where it was, where they were saying that for like a week or whatever, people were not going to be allowed to carry guns, whether you had a carry.
Yeah, it was Arizona or something like that.
Yeah, whether you had a permit, whatever,
city,
it didn't matter. Nobody's allowed to carry one or have one for like a week, and the sheriff just flat out came out and said that's a violation of your rights, and he said I'm not it's not going to be enforced here.
It was the governor, a Democratic governor, and it was over a city. And when she did her press conference, it was only state patrol that was up there with her. No county, no city police.
Right.
The sheriff would have nothing to do with it, and he told them that you're not going to do any of that in this, in my jurisdiction. And not supposedly, he won it over, but yeah, that's the guy who's going to protect you from the government. That's the last line of defense from the federal government is our sheriff.
That's the kind of sheriff you want, one that's going to think about your rights and not what some dirty politician up above is trying to force down.
Right. No, I mean, law passes. I mean, it's one thing, but I've learned they're not going to prosecute. They're not going to arrest for something that's not convictable. That a prosecutor's not going to prosecute.
It's a waste of their time.
They're just It makes them look stupid.
Paperwork.
Yeah. I learned that when it came to some questions we gave some other candidates.
For sure.
But anyways, we can get off here. It's 9:17.
All right,
11.
Mike.
We're gonna look at next week's schedule, and hopefully, don't forget we're starting to get the gears rolling with Indian River Connections. It's just a matter of scheduling all of the right people at the right time. It's going to be a mix of people that get interviewed and by different people interviewing them, maybe giving us their story or featuring their business or their projects. Real philanthropists, real business owners, real people in the community. So not some fakes. But anyways, follow us on Indian River Connections. Also, follow J Ben Chronicles, TGI Now. Follow Leo on Instagram. And where else, Leo? Instagram is your thing?
Yeah, just Instagram.
The gram?
Yeah, the gram.
The gram.
And Rumble.
And Rumble now. Yeah, he wasn't even on Rumble. I made him scan the thing to see if it worked. And he's like, I got to download Rumble. Yeah, you got that one. Did you scan the thing? You got Rumble?
I have Rumble.
All right. Well, I'll make you subscribe to the Indian River Connections.
Anyway, subscribe.
Yeah. So
forget. All right, guys. So we'll see you guys next week. We don't know Monday or Tuesday, but we'll definitely
figure it
next
out.
week. Okay. So we'll hit you guys up next week. Vince, you got anything else?
No.
Mike.
Peace.
All right, let's go.
I could do a Joe Madden.
boom. We just got fucked up.
Do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.